society about the same time that we see the birth of consumer cultures and indeed of capitalism. Fashion designers come out with new clothes each season so that you have to, of course, buy more.
A very telling moment in this evolution occurs in the 1920s when Alfred P. Sloan takes over at General Motors. The leading automobile company in the country until then was Ford Motor Company. And Henry Ford had this model of production and had this vision of how automobiles would be purchased and used. He would sell everybody in the country a Model T, and that Model T would last for 20 years. Now, needless to say, that marketing model is self-limiting. Once everybody's got a Model T, since the Model Ts last forever, then nobody needs to buy another one. Alfred P. Sloan, the head of General Motors, the chief competitor to Ford, recognized what you have to do is you have to convince people that what they've got isn't good enough. So what Sloan did was to pioneer the annual model changes for cars. And just as any self-respecting woman wouldn't be caught in last year's style of dress, well, the self-respecting businessman or young professional wouldn't be caught in last year's car. What you own becomes a mark of who you are.
I think when you look at it, it may not be the new, but it may be the better. You know, we have simultaneously tried to encourage people to feel better by their purchase and then not as good about their purchase simultaneously.
I can remember, and this sounds terrible, but I can remember thinking if I could just have a solid counter surface, like the hoop-de-doo people, you know, the hoop-de-doo girls, I always had Formica. And I thought, if I could just have corian or granite. Now, how crazy. And I finally got corian. Well, the corian got a big crack in it. And now we're going to have to replace that darn corian. And I thought I have been waiting for years to have a solid countertop. And isn't that crazy? And stamp it in shallow. But I thought that, and now that I've got it and the darn thing cracked, I think that was God trying to tell me something. But I have been so guilty at times thinking, if I could just have what they have, if I could just have that car, if I could just have that, and I have to pull myself back in and tell myself, good night, it doesn't matter, all that mess doesn't matter, because you'll never be able to have, there's so many people that have more than you do. You can't, why are you going to try to reach that? Because you can't, ever.
You come to people here and they live in some of the richest neighborhoods, they have 7 cars, they have all these things, and they're extremely unhappy in that environment. And so while in this country and in this sort of society we've been encouraged to get more as if it will get us to happiness, other societies that basically sort of live without anything and basically say, this is my life, this is who I am, and I'm going to sort of make the best of it and be content with what I have. But I think it's not the possessions, but it's how tightly we hold on to those possessions and whether or not we can let them go that determines how satisfied or how happy we are in our lives.
What's the most valuable thing you saw somebody throw away in this place?
Probably a car he took home with him, a Mercedes-Benz.
How much did it cost you?
$206.10.
And did it work?
90 model, heated seats, heated mirrors. All he needs now is a doctor's degree. My mom passed away, okay? What do you want, bub? She said, I'm dying of cancer. I want to give it to you while I'm still here. I said, Mom, I don't want nothing you got. Just give me something that's sentimental to you from your family that can be handed down. To me, that's value. That's something. That's something to hang on to. You know what I mean? You know what I got? I got a 9-inch glass casserole dish. $1 million couldn't have been any more to you. You know what I'm saying? That was what I wanted.
One of the things they talk about in happiness is, are you doing upward comparison or downward comparison? Because people measure themselves relative to other people, which is why in some countries where you think people are so much worse off than the people are in the United States, why is it that they seem as happy as we are or happier? And one of the reasons is they're measuring themselves relative to all the people around them, and so their standards are different. And you can see that in the United States. When nobody had air conditioning except for one person, that person felt like they had a huge luxury. Now that everybody has air conditioning, it just seems like part of daily life.
when you don't know any better. And when you realize there's more out there is when you get clouded and things, you're not as happy. I was from Middle Tennessee, a little farming community. Everybody had about the same. I didn't know that we didn't have really much. And I was raised in a small house, one bathroom with my sister, and I had really big hair. We went through a lot of water. As a matter of fact, the Adams Water Department man told my daddy, y'all use more water than anybody in Adams, but it's because we had big hair. But anyway, and curled it on those pink rollers, and our hair really looked like doo-doo, is what it looked like at the bottom. But we thought it was pretty. I saw these girls that had been to prep schools and were driving BMWs and their daddies were hoop-de-doo. It dawned on me then that, oh, I don't have anything. And that's when I started wanting more. And I think that's when evil sets in. When you start wanting more and more and more, and that's when happiness gets, you think it gets mixed up in what kind of granite countertops you're going to have.
Merry Christmas and happy holidays. But does it really make us happy?
Our operation essentially runs 365 days a year. You know, I didn't want a Christmas, a Thanksgiving Christmas kind of a program. I wanted it to be Thanksgiving and Christmas every day.
For much of American history, at least, Christmas has been a day of prayer for Christians, a day of giving small and modest gifts. But with the coming of urbanization and the coming of increasing use of mass media, it became a day for retailing. It became a time when one could give generously, and this was, of course, encouraged by those who were involved in retail. And in the 20th century, Christmas has become a major retailing event. It's an economic event in many ways far more than it is a religious event.
Jingle bells, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Now we've totally perverted the whole deal into this orgy of materialism that we have going every year. You know, I have 5 children, 26 down to 14. And we had many years of the Christmas orgy. I hated every one of the years. Somebody did a poll the other day and said that 80% of Americans hate Christmas. And the reason they do is that there's all this pressure, and they have to go in debt, and they have to do this stuff. But I've looked back over all the crap that I've purchased for my children, and I got to tell you, virtually none of it exists today.
Sometimes the holidays, you'll have that person will ask you if you're happy, especially in the holidays, because everyone's, you know, and it's usually you're at a party, you're having fun, but then some miserable person looking for company, right? And they'll come up, are you happy? And then it's just like, oh, not now, you know. Thanks for waking up my third eye. And that happened Christmas too once. I was shopping and I got the last 2 toys, you know. And then this woman, he can't get 2. Can he get 2? He can't? He can't? Well, I hope you're happy now. Because my daughter is not going to get one of those. There's no more in the whole valley. There's no more. I hope you're happy now. Are you happy now? Are you happy? Well, I'm happier than you. Yeah. And then that realization that your daughter doesn't have one, mine does, happier still. You know, it's like you topped off my joy tank.
One thing is for sure, you can find out about what's important in life by hanging out with some kids.
Children, they've done studies that show that children laugh something like 400 times a day, and adults laugh less than 50 times a day. So one thing that children have is just this ability to just have fun and just be laughing. Because there's just that lightheartedness that children have, and that ability to just think things are goofy and silly and laugh about them, where an adult will sort of politely smile at the picture of the dog dressed up as Santa Claus.
like you're very excited that you want to go that you're going somewhere that was your favorite, and you're smiling and stuff.
This day is so special. This day is so special. This day is so special. This day is so special.
We spend a lot of our lives saving up for retirement. But does retirement really make us happy? To find out, we spent some time with some folks that have been around for a while.
I'm 82. 82 3/4. I inspect hops. During harvest, we work 7 days a week.
How many times have you been told by your family to take a vacation or just sort of stop and retire?
Every day.
That's my mother. Hey, we on TV. I'm telling you. What do you want to know? Pursuit of happiness is, you're always trying to find it. And I'm a master carpenter and an old roofer, and I can do anything. So my roof leaks, and my house looks like crap. See, my daddy died at 41, and his daddy died at 27, and I'm 50, and I'm happy.
Yeah, I've been a barber for 47 years, and I have a goal of working 50 years. That don't mean that's when I'll quit. If you don't have a goal in life, you don't have anything.
I fell off a crane and broke my neck, and I broke my arm, and I broke my hands, and my thumbs ain't no good, my hands ain't no good, and my legs ain't no good, and my feet, I've been operated on twice, and I am happy.
He kind of reminds me of my grandpa, God bless his soul. He worked until he was 85 years old, like Joe. He comes back every single year. I mean, we get a raise and everything, but he's there every single day. No excuses for anything. He's there regardless.
As long as I got good health, I'm going to keep working.
You know, wouldn't be happy if I ain't playing music. I love to make people happy. And look like they like what I'm doing. I like that. Now I can hear that train whistle blowing, and cannot see no train. Now deep down my heart, just like a aching pain. For how long, baby, how long?